Welcome to the overview of the City of Effingham's fraud and whistleblower policy. The purpose of this policy is to prevent and heighten awareness of fraud, provide guidelines and assign responsibility for controlling and conducting investigations, and promote consistent organization behavior and provide consequences for engaging in any manner of fraud. The city will not tolerate fraud or concealment of fraud. Who does this policy apply to? City employees, vendors, contractors, volunteers, outside agencies doing business with the city, and any other persons or parties in a position to commit fraud on the city. Note: any investigation required shall be conducted without regard to suspected wrongdoers' length of service, position or title, or relationship with the city. The city administration is responsible for the detection and prevention of fraud, misappropriations, and other irregularities. The city clerk is responsible for administration, revision, interpretation, and application of this policy, which will be reviewed annually. Fraud includes, but is not limited to, knowingly misrepresenting the truth or concealment of a material fact in order to benefit personally or create a benefit for a family member or friend, or to induce another to act to his or her detriment. Members of city administration will be familiar with types of improprieties. If there is detection or suspected irregularity, report immediately to the city administrator or city clerk. The city administrator or city clerk will coordinate investigation with legal counsel in affected areas, both internal and external. Actions that constitute fraud. Falsifying or unauthorized altering of city documents. Examples include, but are not limited to, claims for payments or reimbursements, files, photographic or audio records, or accounts belonging to the city, checks, bank drafts, or other financial documents, maintenance records, or fire, police, health, and safety reports. Accepting or offering bribes, gifts, or other favors to influence an employee's decision-making. Disclosing purchasing or bidding activities to give an entity, person, or business an unfair advantage in the bid process. Undocumented justification that causes the city to pay excessive prices or fees. Unauthorized destruction, theft, tampering, or removal of records, furniture, fixtures, or equipment. Using city's equipment or work time for any outside private business activity. Any dishonest or fraudulent act. Impropriety in the handling or reporting of money or financial transactions. Investigation responsibilities. The city administrator or city clerk has the primary responsibility for investigation of all fraudulent acts. City council will issue reports to appropriate personnel and, if appropriate, the city council, if the investigation substantiates the occurrence of fraudulent activities. Decisions to prosecute or refer to law enforcement and/or independent investigative agencies, and the final decisions of the case will be made in conjunction with legal counsel and the city council. Termination will be reviewed by the city administrator or city clerk, legal counsel, and if necessary, outside counsel, before a decision to terminate is made by the city council. An employee under investigation shall be accorded ethical treatment and offered fair and impartial consideration. All employees shall cooperate fully with appropriate authorities conducting investigations into employee conduct. All investigation information received by the city administrator or city clerk is confidential. Investigation results will not be disclosed or discussed with any other than those who have a legitimate need to know as required by law, to avoid damaging reputations and to protect the city from potential civil liability. The city administrator or city clerk has unrestricted access to all city records and premises involved in the investigation with authorization to examine, copy, and/or remove said items without consent within the scope of the investigation. Reporting procedures. Contact the city clerk immediately. Protection of the reporting person. The employee or other complainant will remain anonymous. The city will not dismiss, discipline, or take any adverse action against the employee for disclosing information pursuant to this policy. The city will not take any adverse action affecting their rights or interests in retaliation for disclosing information under this policy. Protection is not applicable when an employee discloses information known to be false. All inquiries concerning the activity under investigation will be directed to legal counsel. No information regarding investigation will be given out. I am not at liberty to discuss this matter as a proper response. The reporting individual should not contact the suspected individual regarding the investigation. The reporting individual should not discuss the case, facts, suspicions, or allegations with anyone unless specifically asked to by legal counsel or the city clerk. This concludes the overview of the City of Effingham's fraud and abuse policy. All questions about this policy should be directed to the city administrator and/or city clerk. Reminder, after viewing this training, please provide your signature on the required document.